good. I guess welcome everybody who just tuned in, who will have tuned in at the time that this is recording. Session 2 of Hell's Rebels. Last
Session
time.
1 exploded.
Session 1 was neat. So last time, you guys, you met with Gondor. He was like, hey, let's start a rebel organization. And then one of his friends was like, you're a dick. And then you were all like, ooh, I don't know that I want to... I'm gonna check things out at home. But for a variety of reasons, it seems as though...
You have to follow the plot.
Well, first of all, you have to follow the plot. Second of all, your own kind of political purgatory is making things awkward for your families and your homes. And then you chase down Gondor. You went and you found Gondor at the protest where you met Barzillai Thrune, and he made a big speech, and it was really awesome. I'm real sad it's not recorded. Where he basically said that he's in Kintargo because, like the sirens outside my apartment, the crime rate is too high. That Kintargo has flaunted, has flaunted Chelish laws, and that the freedom and the creativity and the expression that they all, that the Kintargan culture cherishes are really just a mask for, a beating heart of chaos and disorder that he is here to stamp out. And almost as soon as he finished his speech and enacted the 8th proclamation, which completely outlaws protests in general, under threat of lethal force, everyone has just started to disperse. There's no backlash, there's no anger. It's the crowd is permeated by fear and by confusion, and they're leaving. So I guess that's where we start. What do you guys want to do?
We're all standing together with Gondor, right?
Yeah. No, we're not near Gondor. We didn't get to him.
As the crowd dissipates, you can see Gondor is also waiting around a little bit. He notices you not all that far away.
We all got here separately, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks like simultaneously sad, but like in a resigned way. This is what was just bound to happen at this place. And then he walks over to you guys.
Well, the first thing I do is I smear a little bit of my makeup and be like, "It's me, Beauregard."
Oh my god! I forget.
Because I'm in another disguise. So
everybody double takes Beauregard.
So are we all together at this point?
Gondor arrives. He's not really like limping, but he's going slow. He's leaning pretty hard on his staff. The staff made of white and black metal intertwined.
Might I suggest that we get off the street?
I think that would be quite wise.
That seems
would you like
a
to come with me back to the Long Roads?
That the tavern we were at when we started.
Yeah, the Long Roads Coffee House. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Quite frankly, Gondor, can we be sure that Lady Smallwood of the tavern can be trusted?
I think he kind of fails to meet your eyes. He thinks about this, scratching at his eyebrow. He takes the opportunity to pull out, like a wooden pipe, and kind of, stuff it with some herbs and shit, and he just uses like ambient magic to spark up the pipe, and he starts smoking from it, and like gray, like woolen smoke just kind of permeates. It's very peppery. It just kind of permeates all around you guys, and he says, I understand that Lyra is a little angry with me, but I do trust her with my life, and I do trust all of the secrets that we have with her. On top of that, I think that, to be honest, she's reacting a little emotionally, and that maybe it's... I think bringing Lyra around to the cause is something that's important to do. There's no place that this rebellion could get started besides her coffee house, it feels like. And it would be a shame for us to abandon her without even trying.
Boy, well, I've got no better plan.
Fair enough. As you guys are moving through the streets of Kintargo, it almost feels like a different city because of the martial law and the curfew. The streets are less busy. People are almost. It feels like people are afraid to leave, or every time you see someone walking down the street, they're hurrying as fast as they can so that they don't get accosted by the Dotari or the Chelish citizens group. On the way, Gondor just kind of asks, "So were you disappointed in the protest?"
The people are afraid.
The people are spineless.
He nods sagely to Weirin. I definitely understand that. I think they are certainly afraid, and they're acting cowardly, as people in situations like this are known to do.
Is this so do we know that much about Barzillai or whatever, like Thrun?
Not all that much. You can attempt a knowledge history, knowledge nobility. It's the same DC.
Nah, I'm just gonna ask.
Just for like a general backstory.
I would like.
I'm just gonna ask Gondor what he knows about Barzillai.
I need to click on.
That's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I could roll it. I don't know. I don't want to though.
That's a 24.
Barzillai he's not a very famous Thrun. There's Abigail, who's like hardcore famous, and then a couple of other people throughout the family, but he's definitely like part of an offshoot. The thing that you know about Barzillai Thrun is that for a long time he was like a foreign agent of Cheliax, and he was a dignitary, an ambassador, a spy, a secret agent who went around and advanced Chelish interests all throughout the inner sea region. So it is a little bit strange that he's been called back to Kintargo to, assume an administrative role, but that's what happened.
I volunteer this information to my newfound friends.
Who put him in the position again? I think we know that, but
The Queen.
Okay.
The Queen, who is his distant cousin, Abigail Thrun, appointed him as the Paracount of Ravenel. Prior to this, there wasn't a... So Ravenel has been part of Cheliax for a long time, right? And then the Chelish Civil War happened, and it was kind of hazy whether or not it was actually... You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of its own place in the Empire for a long time. And then they got reincorporated into the Empire through House Thrun at the end of the Civil War, like during the Civil War. And ever since that, there has not been a Paracount, right? There has been no governor of the province. The default governing has kind of come down to the Lord Mayor, who basically progressively set more and more liberal policies until...
What's his deal right now?
This happened. Whose deal? Barzillai's deal?
No, the Lord Mayor.
Oh, the Lord Mayor, Gilia Bainalis, has fled the city. Reportedly. Most people think that she has gone to, the general scuttlebutt says that she has gone to Varissia because she has trade relations there, and she is, and people thought she was honestly fleeing Barzillai Thrun, because they believe that he was about to lay the blame for all the shit that went wrong in Kintargo at her feet.
I see.
So
I'm sorry, I had to run and grab something, namely food. Back at the tavern, or are we still...
Yeah, you guys arrive. You guys arrive back at the tavern. It doesn't take all that long to get back there because it's now getting closer to nighttime. From without, you hear the faint sounds of different music than before.
I take a moment to fully transform back into Beauregard.
Beauregard, when did you get here?
I've always been here. Schmitty was my disguise. So clever. You didn't see it coming, did you? I'm so good.
Not at all.
As you guys re-enter the long roads, it is much busier than it was in the morning or late last night when you got in. There's a small jazz band in the corner, and they're playing jazz music, and there's lots of people talking, and it's not like loud. It's not like a club where it's like loud and rowdy. It is very kind of like laid back. But yeah.
When we walk in, does the DJ scratch a record?
No. Also, there is no DJ. I guess maybe they could hit a dissonant chord on the piano.
Piano? Ooh, fancy.
I like in westerns.
What is the mood like? Like, I mean, I assume that would be like a perception or.
Yeah, you can make a. Actually, it's more of a sense motive. So I will make that for you. Also, I guess I have to make perception checks for you, because I'm fucking good at this game.
Wow, it's like we don't even have to do anything anymore.
Beauregard has an easy time figuring out that kind of half of the bar are talking about the protest, and to be honest, the mood is definitely somber about it, but it's also not necessarily like hardcore sad. People are doing a lot to kind of rationalize everything that's going on. It's like, oh, well, yeah, if Kintargo has such a high crime rate, sure, I'm willing to, live with some weird-ass proclamations for a couple of months while we sort that out, kind of thing. The other half of the bar seems oblivious to the goings-on because they weren't necessarily there.
People are sheep.
Oh.
So are we free to do whatever we want now, or are we talking to Gondor specifically?
Yeah, you're free to do other stuff if you want to do some other stuff before talking to Gondor.
Oh,
but
no, I
yeah,
just
Gondor
meant,
says, listen, feel free to get a bite of eat and then come to find me in Lyra's room, and we can talk a little bit further. And he whisks away into the back room.
What does Gondor know, or before? Maybe I'll follow him before other people.
He says, I admire your enthusiasm. I'd like to get started as soon as possible too. What would you like to know as you guys enter the privacy of?
What? Gondor, I just wanted to know, I wanted to know what your relationship was with the Shadowvale family, or what you knew about their dealings with the Throoms.
He looks kind of amused at the question and says, well, I know the Shadowvales quite well, to be honest. I have not always seen eye to eye with the nobles in this town. They tend to treat people like me disposably, which is more than a little bit unfair, but the Shadowvales have always done right by me. They've done right by my people, and I've always appreciated that about them.
What did your people do for the Shadowvales?
The Shadowvales, it's tough to talk about because there's so much history there. I've been doing this for a long time, and so have, Alluri and Caelondriel. They've both been vigorously leading that family for 80 years in the same way that I've been active, shall we say. Most of my business was in the selling of unredacted books to nobles, but that was never what the Shadow Veils were looking for. They wanted to keep that was a kind of risk that I don't think any of them wanted to take, given the status of the newest noble house on the block.
So, would you say that they are more in league with the Thrunes out of convenience, or out of desire to keep their standing, or what's the deal?
I think in league with the Thrunes might be a little bit rough way to talk about it. Alluria has always been easier for me to interact with personally. She tends not to have that kind of arrogance that comes with Caelondriel's standing. Plus, I just don't think Caelondriel likes me all that much. But I'm not, like I said, it's a little bit tough to talk about because it's been so long and there's been so many ups and downs in all of this. I don't think that they've pledged allegiance one way or another to the great Kintargo or House Thrune. I don't think most noble houses have. Maybe Aulorian, but even them, I don't even think so. Sorry, I know that's not exactly the greatest answer.
I for one, I'm here on a mission of intelligence to try and figure out what's happening here in Cheliax and how in the medium term Ionan interests might be affected.
I think I picked up on that, to be honest.
You're to meet with Shadow Veils, but they have essentially with Alluria, but just boxed me out.
I think that's just because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were thrown in jail, right? For spying, I imagine. I think
really,
that
what I should say is, no, and then do a bluff check. Where is it? Found it.
Well, I guess I can roll a sense motive for a level something sorcerer.
Can I also roll a sense motive against it?
Are you
there?
there?
You're here.
Oh,
you
are
can
you
be
guys
there.
in a separate room?
I just walked with Gondor
into the back
to try and motivate my characters joining his rebellion. Not to metagame too hard.
He says it's okay, Letty. You can tell me. I think some of your troubles will go away when it comes to the rebellion. As we gather standing, it's going to be important to get the noble houses to align with our interests. And right now, Caelondriel and Luria are looking at you as the elf who came to spy in Kintargo. That you're a danger to them. But if we can refocus that to one of the leaders of the rebellion that's trying to take Kintargo back from Cheliax, that's a whole different ballgame.
Alaric nods contemplatively and says, "Well, I'll rejoin the others and let you rest."
All right. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
So as a random question, did Lyra ever talk about like why she thought Gondor had like personal interests, selfishness?
The thing
in his
that she
motives?
mentioned was she basically chewed him out because she was like, you don't give a shit about like freedom in Kintargo. That's not why you're here. You're just angry that Baron Rogar betrayed you. And then Gondor explained that he had an arrangement with Baron that basically said that he was going to make a whole bunch of money off of relatively minor victimless crimes and do his best to keep his people from committing like the crazy violent stuff, which was... And in return, obviously, he wasn't going to go to jail or whatever, and that was broken when Baron Rogar showed up at his house and hauled him off to the fucking vault.
Gotcha. I'm just thinking right now.
Lyra is helping Gormy and Maggie serve dinner to folks. It's about dinner time. Everything seems to be served from like this giant vat of. It kind of looks like stew, but like in a brothy sense, not in like a heavy sense. And everybody's eating. It's delicious. So says the crowd.
Was the stew prepared by famous chef Kenzo?
No, it was not, unfortunately. I'm sure Kenzo would really love it to make stew out of silver salmon. If you guys don't, you can just head into the back with Gondor, and we can...
Yes, I will head to the back of Gondor.
I look at Rakagax, or is that right, Rakax?
Yep, Rakax.
Rakax, okay. Look at Rakax and say, so I take it things didn't go too favorably at House Reynolds?
No, I did not.
Well, don't feel bad, things went poorly for me too, and I'm an actual noble.
What is side up to wherever Beauregard is? What does go poorly mean?
For such a fancy man, I see that you can somehow sympathize with the common folk. Maybe you might not be so bad after all.
I pat him on the back and I say, how do you take care of your fur? It must be a pain. Do you brush it every morning?
Thank you. No, I don't really take care of it. Doesn't really come to mind.
But it's so smooth and so velvety. I'm jealous.
I kind of awkwardly move away. You're not thinking of wearing me, are you?
No. I once saw laying in skin a jacket. Did not compliment.
That is hardcore. Where the fuck did you see that?
Yeah, was it
noble? I saw it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
But
it's like walking up.
Where they get
oh yeah, I saw a human skin jacket once. Yeah.
Do you think like a Leonin pelt jacket would really be that far fetched? Like
no, I'm just saying that's why it's funny.
Human skin would be a hard thing to make into a jacket, right?
Yeah. I would say that pelting Leonin is it's a not so uncommon practice among the enemies of Rahadum. Kind of in the way like scalping almost is treated in the Old West.
They probably deserved it more often than not.
Well, how cold of you. I appreciate that. I pat him on the back again, and I suppose we walk to the back room.
Oh yeah, I walk back there.
As you guys all head in, Gondor is just kind of standing there, and he waits for everybody to get in before beginning. He says, "So, you've all returned. That's good news."
Some of us have nowhere to go.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, boo-hoo, big man.
I don't think
I just glare.
French.
It sounds like it's hard out there for guys like us, people that have been, shall we say, left behind by the time in the vault.
We're also like physically trapped in the city, kind of.
That's true. Yeah,
Like, you're not,
Right.
entering and exiting the city is not an easy task right now.
okay, because that's what I would care about the most. I don't. Whatever your fan.
You would have found out. We can just off-screen this. You would have found out that when you got to the gates, you were barred from leaving the city by the Dotari. This is kind of just part of the martial law lockdown.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we went over this, right? His character went to the wall and shed a tear as he looked on at the forest, right?
Yeah. That is
Yeah, no, that did happen. Do you guys not remember that?
Yeah. Gondor says, but I think it's almost providence that we've all found our way back here. I have been doing a little bit more thinking about what we talked about earlier, and I think to a certain extent Lyra's right, and that maybe there is some changes that can be made. But the first and most important thing to me is to get her on board for this. Like I said, I think that the wasp's nest, the smuggler's den that you saw, that we came in through last night, would be the perfect place to start this. It's secretive, we can travel throughout the city without too much trouble. It just feels right to me. But I don't think Lyra's all that willing to listen to me about it. So I was hoping that you would be able to speak with her yourselves, try and convince her to come aboard and help us out. Is that something that you think you could do?
What's her name again?
Lyra Longroad.
Oh, we're
Be
so
happy to
sorry.
experiment with the diplomacy rules. I mean, convince Lyra.
Shut the fuck up, Mango. Yes, no, this is the first diplomacy challenge.
Oh well, I leave that in your capable hands, Beauregard. It's
Gondor
not
says,
clear. What's his face is making fun of Beauregard's accent.
Gondor says, I think it's important for all of you to go, because she doesn't know you. I mean, truth be told, neither do I, but I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I? Plus, I've got the benefit of you having saved my life to garner my trust, whereas Lyra doesn't have the same advantage.
Where's Lyra?
Lyra is probably in the back. You might find her working in the storerooms to try and make sure everyone's fed.
Shouldn't we perhaps wait until dinner's over?
That might be a good plan.
Get him.
He says the thing that I would caution you about when talking to Lyra.
I'll be right back.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. It was gonna be real insightful, I promise.
Anything to do with the music change?
No, yeah. I was just thinking. I actually really like this.
So I can't hear music. I'm so sad.
Wait, is
may have to
this
relay
from
that page.
Bastion?
No. This
Okay,
is
it sounds
just,
like one of the random songs from the thing.
It might be actually. I just typed in jazz, and I just went through SoundCloud and I added all the ones that I liked.
Oh, okay.
So it's to the point that actually sometimes when I'm doing other stuff, I'll just load up Hell's Rebels and start playing the music because I just like these playlists. Anyway, he says,
This is fair.
I think it's important that this be kind of open and free in the sense of nothing's set in stone, nothing is nailed down. So if she wants to start talking about things like the structure of the organization or something along those lines, have that conversation. I think it's smart. I think it's important. And if those are the kinds of things that can assuage her apprehension, then definitely do it, because like I said, I think getting Lyra on board is the most important thing that we can do here.
kind of structure can we even talk about? Right now it's just us 6 clowns.
He kind of shrugs and he says, I don't want to set anything in stone. That's kind of the point. I think it's more... if she wants to dictate it one way or the other, let her. Talk with her about it. The more that she talks about what the structure of this organization looks like, the more that she can shape it into something that she'd be willing to join. And that's fine with me. As long as we get something together, I think that's the important part. What it actually looks like isn't all that meaningful to me.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like everyone who's going to be a part of it should have their say. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I mean, all of you guys are going to have to roll at least one check. But
Oh wait,
that might be a spoiler.
what's our check? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that over the course of this diplomacy check. Never mind. Anyway,
Let's just.
gonna suck at
Gondor
it.
nods to you guys, and he goes out and he gets some silver salmon stew, and he brings it back into the master bedroom to eat. And you guys wait for things to die down. It's a lot less hectic. After kind of 45 minutes, an hour, you watch Lyra disappear into one of the back rooms where she's probably doing some kind of inventory or something along those lines. And it looks like it might be a good time to head back there and chat it out.
Oh, so 5 guys are gonna go corner a lady in the back supply room.
Yeah,
They
oh
surely
God.
will make her comfortable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Especially given that one of them is a half-orc and the other one is a giant cat person.
Sorry, I'm back.
Are
And-
you
and-
enforcing negative stereotypes about cat people and half-orcs, Charles?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have you know that that's called a microaggression.
Ooh.
What
I'm
am
I
I
really like to
excited.
remember what my Twitch password is.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I assume
We go back.
this is the time to act, my fellow comrades. Do you not agree?
It's just about the omens.
Although wordlessly, it's like, I guess we're all in this.
Okay, cool. So as you guys head back in there to corner Lyra and hopefully not
Maybe we
accost
should-
her in any way.
We should go
Um,
in not all at once.
Yeah, not at all.
You might want to look. Where the fuck are these diplomacy things on the fucking page? Because they are important. Oh, diplomacy challenges. Okay. I'm going to link this in the thing because these are the rules that are going to be used for this whole thing. The general way this works is your goal is to attain 9 successes before you gain 3 failures.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and basically what it is you can use any of the any of like the social skills, right? Bluff, diplomacy, or intimidate. They all have a set DC against her, so it might take some kind of finagling to figure that out. You can use sense motive to figure out what skills she is specifically receptive towards. Most people have like other skills that are not bluff, diplomacy, and intimidate that they respond more favorably to, which is to say the DC is significantly lower for those skills than it is for other ones, but you can only mine those once, right? So if you walk up to Lyra, use sense motive, you can figure out, oh hey, Lyra is a fucking animal lover, and you can use handle animal to to gain a success. But you can only gain 1 success off of handle animal, if that makes sense. The first time anybody new speaks, they get a +3 on their check. So, if Beauregard makes all of the checks, and then, Rakax makes the 5th check after 4 of Beauregard's, Rakax's checks get a +3 to whatever skill he chooses to use. Every time you reach 3 successes, you're going to get 1, benefit, which will be, I guess, revealed at the end. I don't think I want to reveal that in the middle. Get 9. This isn't meant to be. This isn't meant to be all that hard because it's the first one, obviously. But yeah, these are fucking diplomacy challenges, boys.
So I don't know if you. I don't think you just said it now, but I was expecting something about it. So like, I'm probably not very good at diplomacy. Can I just not be the person that rolls for this particular thing? Like, we have to, like, everyone should... I thought there was going to be something about everyone contributing something or something.
So sometimes, and this is going to happen, right? Sometimes people will directly ask questions, right? So let's say, Mango rolls a check and is like, hey, you should join the organization. She's like, no, but I do like the way your bird squawks. Why don't you tell me why I should join the organization? And in that instance, only you can do the next roll, right? So you just be prepared.
Okay.
You might get singled out, kind of thrown under the bus, so to speak.
Who has the worst diplomacy score?
Oof, the metagamer.
Probably me.
All right. Before we go approach her, while we're waiting for dinner to have.
Oh wait! My bird has the worst score. So.
She's not gonna ask you, Bert. She's not gonna ask you, Bert. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Beauregard observes the worry on Weirin's face, and Beauregard takes Weirin aside and has a quiet word with Weirin. So, Weirin, at one point today, you may make a check with my skill ranks instead of yours in diplomacy, and I'm going to give you use of inspiration for it too.
That is fantastic, Beauregard. What's inspiration do again?
You add a d6 to it.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
With you helping me, I feel very confident right now. I'm not usually good at dealing with people to such a degree, or of convincing people. I usually let people do what they want.
Do you have ranks in diplomacy?
Do I? Oh,
Or
bluff
or intimidate. Those are the three that you can use anytime during a diplomacy challenge.
Oh, one sec. What were the three again?
Bluff, diplomacy, intimidate. Intimidate and bluff aren't necessarily actually intimidate and bluff in the context of a diplomacy challenge. In this instance, bluff is more like telling somebody what they want to hear, and intimidate is more like, being particularly like forceful, kind of like like Donald Trumping it, right? Like where you're kind of loud enough that hopefully that makes you persuasive. Not to get too political in here.
No, mostly just like that. Just sounds like a bad idea. That just sounds like a bad idea.
Hey, certain people are more responsive to certain things.
Good job.
Like somebody. Have I? Somebody who is, a. Kind of like, somebody who's like weak-willed and looking for direction as part of his diplomacy challenge is somebody who is more susceptible to intimidate, right? And someone who's looking to be, flattered rather than actually persuaded with logical arguments is going to be more susceptible to bluff. Like I said, of those three, there's going to be one easy route and one hard route, and you'll be able to figure that out with. Sense motive, I think. Actually, I have to read that real quick just to make sure I'm right. Yeah. Okay, so by using sense motive, you learn which are the more effective and which are the least effective social skills. You learn the target's receptive skills. And that third part doesn't matter because I'm just going to keep track of that for you guys anyway.
On the previous... I think Mango asked me a question. The only one of like diplomacy, bluff, and intimidate I have is intimidate because it's the only one that's class skill for me. So that's the only one I cared about.
Okay, then I will. I can only quiet word you for intimidate or bluff, or intimidate or diplomacy rather. So I'll give it to you for diplomacy because I would assume that we want to be kind with the lady.
Yeah, but can I do diplomacy untrained,
Yes.
non-class
Yeah.
skill?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
The only
really?
skills you can't
In
do.
this sense, you're getting just like a big miscellaneous modifier to your skill check.
Diplomacy
Okay.
you can make untrained. Pretty much the only things you can't do untrained
I
are
have
No,
brought up the
just-
turn. Do you guys see the turn order
I
thing?
thought,
brought
I
up
thought
the
you could
turn
only
order
do your
thing.
class skills. I see a 0, yeah. But I thought you could only do class skills untrained.
No, you.
Oh.
There are very specific skills that you can't do untrained. Most of them are they're like UMD in most of the knowledge skills, or in all the knowledge skills.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You guys
Nice.
can set your
I did not know that.
set your turn order. It is going to go.
How do
Oh
we
wait,
do
no, wait.
that?
I'm totally lying. This is wrong. I'm misremembering. There was actually a while where the turn order was each of you had to make a check after the first one, but that's not how it goes. Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to be your party, and you guys get to choose who to, tackles whatever question, and then she's going to respond, right? And then we're just going to go back and forth. I'm going to let you know when you. I'm going to let you know when you succeed and when you fail.
Oh, God.
Who has the highest sense motive in the party? I have a 4 total.
Sense motive?
Yeah.
Probably.
I can also.
Nope. Not even close. Okay.
Get
Whoa.
it.
Rakox
Oh, I have
has
a
a
2.
4.
I have a 4.
Weirin has a 2.
I am
Person in a
quite
row.
oblivious.
Alright,
I am quite oblivious.
the
I
other
am
thing
not a
is
wise orc.
Is for,
I forgot I'm wise.
So I've got a 4, and I can boost it with an inspiration. So maybe I'll lead off with one of those. What do you guys think about that? You're
Do we
looking-
think
no,
knowing
no,
her
no.
motive is super important? In particular, like, rather than more so just the convincing. If you
The
have a limited number
upside,
of
the upside to sense motive is it really helps you with other checks down the line. The downside is that if you fail the sense motive check, you get a failure. But if you
Oh.
succeed, you don't get a success. So
Oh.
it's obviously really helpful, but you can kind of wing it and hope for the best without using sense motive if that's what you want.
Yeah,
Oh, God, I think that you should lead off.
I should if. So the question is do I want to lead off with a diplomatic word or do I want to lead off with a sense motive check? I think if anybody makes a sense motive check, it should be me because I can spend an inspiration on it.
It sounds like the sense motive is going to be like a passive buff to all of our other checks, so it's probably a good first move, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I'm all for starting off with party buffs. I know this from our other...
Fair enough.
That's all I care about.
Hey, buddy, could you at some point post the diplomacy rolls into a note?
Oh, that's a great call. Yeah, I will do that right now, actually.
Mostly because then I can put it on
Sure.
the screen for our viewers to be able to read. And I
Oh.
don't really want to put my Facebook in front of everybody else if avoidable.
Mango, don't worry. I totally won't send you anything inappropriate on your Facebook.
You already. Oh, well, that's not what I was worried about. I was worried about like some dude being like, "I recognize that person." Mailing me. I don't know.
Just as the silence.
It should be in your journals now, under handouts, diplomacy challenge rules.
Fantastic. I will put them on the screen. Oof.
Yep, there they are.
Yeah, someone like kind of window mine.
That way, viewers at home.
Has this
Viewers at
compendium
home can
always
read
been
the
here?
shitty
I know that's
homebrew.
My beautiful, beautiful homebrew that is formatted terribly because I just copy pasted. Oh, well.
How do I actually enter the Twitch viewing lounge? All I see is Lacanya, who I know.
Oh, this is hard to read. Can I make this text bigger?
You could copy and paste it into Notepad or WordPad or whatever the one is that lets you do rich text, and then explode Arena.
I might be able to make it bigger. 1 second. Maybe not. Is there not a formatting thing for this? Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any kind of formatting thing that allows me to increase font size.
Yeah, no, I have a window capture on, which is let me see. Roll 20. Increase text size.
All right, why don't we play D&D rather than play text size for the viewership, which is so large?
Okay. You guys head into the back room. Lyra notices you, and she kind of smiles cordially, and she says, "Things are a little bit busier than I expected tonight, but it looks like the dinner rush is over. I'm glad we got that silver salmon stew out there. I really like that."
We're in her room now, right? B2.
You are in the back room in B2, which is storage.
Okay, just
Where's Beauregard? Stop reading about your
I'm looking,
sorcerer's ways.
I'm looking for my character. Oh, it's above.
He's in.
there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
She kind of stands up and dusts herself off a little bit, and she says, "I get the feeling that you are trying to find some privacy back here. Is there something you want to talk about?"
I say.
Yes, that tiefling woman is disgusting.
One failure. No, I'm kidding. Well played.
I say. What's her name again?
Lyra.
Say, Lyra, I do believe we have a certain sensitive matter to discuss with you, and I roll sense motive, and I'm gonna spend an inspiration on it. You want to roll that, buddy?
Yes, I will actually roll that for you.
Add a
Because
1d6 to it.
actually, you can roll this one because you should see. This is your roll. You get to roll that.
R1d20 plus 4 plus 1d6.
Oof.
Wow, geez, fair enough. You succeed.
Are you sure you succeed? You might be tricking us.
No, 100%. Yeah, this is why I say that you should roll it.
Oh, yeah, we
You
have
should.
to know that.
You explicitly get to know. This is obvious, a specific usage of sense motive. Where like, yeah, you get to know. You're right. Anyway,
Right.
Yeah, in this case, knowledge buffoonery was really going to help out.
you get the. So you get the sense that she. So her complaints about Gondor and kind of the Silver Ravens were more about like rashness than they were about like impracticality, right? It's clear that she thinks this can be done, but she doesn't think that Gondor is necessarily the right guy to do it. And the thing that she fears, and the thing that she fears, is that he, and by extension you, are looking at this almost a little bit too idealistically almost. So her two receptive skills are knowledge local, wherein you can kind of prove to her that yes, you are a citizen of Kintargo, yes, you understand, what Kintargo is all about, and you're willing to, this isn't strange, this kind of desire to bring back the old culture. And the other one is appraise, because she feels that money, like this kind of thing isn't cheap. It doesn't happen overnight. You've got to pay people. And so having a budget, having, like those kinds of things are, real concerns. And so if you can demonstrate that, yeah, I understand the economic challenges that come with, this kind of thing, she'll be assuaged by that. Generally, her personality favors persuasion. Right, so diplomacy is easier, and it eschews browbeating. She's not a fan of intimidated. She wants to be, she wants you to present a rational argument for why she should join, rather than, pressure her into joining. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So I take
I wanna
everybody
ask
into the corner and we huddle, and I explain that all to them.
For the purposes of the diplomacy challenge, you guys don't get that, together.
Okay.
As a question, because I guess this is pseudo tutorially, but like the one thing you just said about me, like she wants to know that I am in fact like caring about the country, or country.
Wait, sorry. She didn't mention you personally. She mentioned just the party in general.
Well, didn't you just mention me or something?
Did I?
What did you just say about me?
Knowledge local.
Yeah. Wait,
Did I say that about you?
Did he not say that?
No,
No, he said nothing about you.
I think he said you in general, and maybe you thought he was talking.
Yeah,
to
I
you.
just meant the plural
Oh.
you of the
I could have
whole
sworn he
group
said
of you.
weird.
Not
I
everything's
don't
about
know.
you, Jimmy.
Yeah, you fucking
Yeah,
egotistic.
okay.
Yeah, no, she
I
means
could have
just.
sworn you said weird. I was very confused.
Yeah, she just generally
Yeah.
means everybody. So anybody in your party can make that that knowledge local. Can make that appraise check. Another thing to mention, just in passing, good arguments can get a circumstance bonus in your favor. Bad arguments get a circumstance bonus in your detriment.
I hear there are many Jews in this city who would know a lot about the price of gold.
Yeah, it's like, oh god.
Are we allowed to roll without argument? Like roll on face?
Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. Yeah.
Okay. Just to let you know, if we're afraid that we don't have a compelling argument, can we just roll it on face and be like, my character says something clever?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can just like take the 0. That's fine.
Question: are appraise and knowledge local? Are those relatively easier to hit?
Those are easier to hit than the 3 social skills.
Okay.
And
Like definitively.
next, last, maybe, hopefully, rules question. Does, can Mango now no longer roll?
No, he can roll.
But everyone has to roll at least once, and then,
Everyone will. So here's so the secret is everyone will have to roll once because Lyra is going to want to know each of your answers to a specific question.
So in theory, if she didn't give a shit who she was talking to, like some people could just not roll. If,
Yeah.
If that person were okay with it.
This is idiosyncratic to this one because I happen to know how she is going to respond to certain things, but there will be other diplomacy checks in the future, diplomacy challenges in the future, that where Maragrug just is silent, right?
Yeah.
Because that's fine.
Do any of you have knowledge local trained?
No.
No.
it would be very weird
Blockheads.
if the elf from Kyonin
I'm
was
not
like, yo, I
local.
told you know
Nope,
what's going
I'm
on.
newly sort of arrived.
Oh,
Uh,
JK, no, I have knowledge local. I know everything.
And also,
I have geography, though.
this is just about demonstrating that you understand the city, right? You can still say, "Hey, listen, this is my first time to Kintargo, but I get this place, right? I know what it's about." If that,
Oh wait, I've got the perfect one.
Alright, I'll leave the knowledge local to you then, Alaric. Mostly because I can get free boosts to it, but I feel like since I've got better boosts, I should be taking the more rote approach.
Anything with knowledge in it, I get +6 into that or some bullshit. So
You have +6. You haven't
5
6 in.
+5.
You have, okay.
wow, hardcore.
Wow.
Don't worry, I got -1 in like everything else, so it's all good.
Fair enough. So I'll let you do the knowledge local check, and so I will lead off with a diplomacy check. I say, Lara, we have to discuss a serious matter with you. We've all given it some consideration, and we would like to enjoin this idea of a rebellion. Unfortunately, it seems that the best option for us is to host it here. And I know that you are apprehensive, but I think you'll find that if you cannot trust the motives of your friend Gondar, you can at least trust the motives of us 5 as genuine people and concerned about the welfare of Kintargo. And that's a diplomacy check. I need to click on my character first.
That's a pretty good argument. So I'll just give it to you. Should I give it to you?
So theoretically, you can't critically fail a skill check.
I
That
remember that.
that is true. It's kind of close enough. We'll just put that in the success category and not think too much about it. She says, "Fine. You know what? I kind of thought he might send you guys after me, but I don't know. You've been cordial with me so far, so give me your pitch. Let's hear it."
Anybody else want to take it
okay.
away?
Yeah, I got you. We get a +3 for being the first time to speak.
Yep, you get
All
you
right,
get
I
a
just
plus
wanted
3
to
on this
know-
bad boy. Oh, so yeah. Well, never mind. I'm just gonna let that go.
I would have gotten a +3 on that one, right?
Yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
Let's act like that didn't happen and give.
that
the
would have made it. That would have
extra
made it solid.
Where were we? Yes. Look, I have only been in Chicago a short time, but Chicago is well known where I come from for being a city of arts and letters and trade, and I look at the rest of Cheliax, and while trade is certainly present, the rest is lacking, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to understand what's going on, and I don't like what I see here. Martial law and a banning of literature and the arts and burnings of vicious opera houses. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, that's a success. She says, yeah, I understand that. It's tough because, I've lived in Kintargo for most of my life, but, I think of Kintargo as a city of travelers, right? How many exiles from other nations find their homes here? And now all of a sudden,
At least 4.
I am one of them.
and now and exactly, right? And she says to her guy, she's like, and now all of a sudden, right, like, people can't enter the city, people can't leave the city. This isn't what I want from my Kintargo. And then whoever wants to go next can go next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna intimidate. That's my best one.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't. We
So I'm
we,
gonna
not,
intimidate-
we don't. We want to be nice, right?
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. I'll throw a little curveball on you. So you want Kintargo to be the way it was before? Well, if you don't fight, then it will never turn back to the way it was before. You will never have your freedom. You will never have the leisure to walk wherever you want. You'll never be able to leave or come back if you do leave. Unless you fight, we will lose everything, and we will be crushed and defeated. And the Kintargo you know and love will never come back. Is that okay for intimidate?
Yeah, no, that's great. Roll it. Oof. That is a success. She says,
It's a 17, right?
she
'Cause
says,
it's
look,
your
I
first.
it's not that I don't want to fight back. But I just narrowly dodged the purge the first time. And I had to give up a lot to do that. So if I'm going to fight this, if I'm going to, if I'm going to try and get back the Kintargo that I want to see, I don't want to fail. I don't want to end up in prison. I don't want to fail the people that count on me. And you guys can go. Also, by the way, just like in context, like some kinds of arguments are also about like the things that she just said, right? So if you're responding specifically to what she just said and say something empathetic or sympathetic, that counts as an argument. You know what I mean? That can also give you that quote unquote argument circumstance bonus, whether or not it's an actual argument itself in like the kind of traditional debate sense. But anyway,
That's
yeah,
why I
whoever
did
wants to go
what I
next.
did.
Okay. Well, I have something. So I just like walk a little bit forward, just like things that you've lost. Look, I mean, I think you all know where we just came from, what we all just went through. We didn't escape the purge. And all of us are back here, not just because of our interest in this, but because lost everything. I failed the person I was supposed to protect, got locked away. I come back and find that now everyone's about to lose that, not just us. And I can't sit here and stand for it. And I get that you are afraid for all these people and for yourself. But as someone who already lost everything, and I think all of us can agree, we can't turn back. Have to risk this. We're all just going to get thrown in jail again if not, including you. It's got diplomacy.
Hardcore. That's a success, and she follows up with she wants to know. She says, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what happened to you, Mayor Greg."
Yeah. I mean, when the purge happened, I was working, and I was at a bar. I do my normal bouncer thing, and someone comes in asking for someone I care about. They ask me. Now, I'm not really sure why they didn't ask anybody else in the bar, but I started running. I was already too late. And then, of course, on my heels, because I started running, I got caught. I didn't know what to do. And then, of course, I come back 6 months later, and she's gone, and I don't know what's going on anymore. The only reason I'm still alive from 2 years ago when I first came to Fargo, is because of her. So, yes, like all of us were exiles and refugees, but we only made it here because of other people. And we owe those other people. At least I do.
You could roll another check.
Cool. Doing it again. Ooh, that didn't work.
Oof.
That didn't work well.
That didn't work as well. But so technically it's a failure. I'll just put that out. You guys have 4 successes, 1 failure so far. But she says, "See, this is what I'm afraid of. I think I know who you're talking about, and I know why you're afraid. I'm afraid too. I'm afraid that I'm going to end up like Erie, and I'm afraid that that's going to mean I'm going to go back to being a slave when I've been free for so long."
She's a
Or a
bellflower
slave, you
girl,
say.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do know that. Gondor told you that.
Wait. Does somebody else want to do something? Because I've got an idea. Unless somebody else wants to go.
I mean,
Wait,
I just
you
Wait,
have
I
an
have a question.
idea.
If I sense motive on the thing to understand if she's a slave, like who's a slave, will that count towards the failure or?
What do you mean?
It
Sorry,
doesn't
what's the
apply.
question?
Just trying to use
Okay,
sense
well-
motive as the skill sense motive, not as the.
That's fair. Yeah, I can roll that for you. That's kind of outside of the context of the challenge, so it doesn't count one way or the other. Yeah, you, Marigrug, and Beauregard, all she's sincere. It doesn't necessarily look intentional, but she has kind of clearly just revealed that she was once a slave, and that's kind of one of the roots of her fears.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to go? I've got an idea if nobody else has something.
Nope, all you bro.
God, you look like you're
okay.
chomping at the
Okay.
bit.
I think I have something, but you're probably better.
I say, we're aware of your affiliation with certain slave-freeing networks, and I would say to you that the longer Basilar Thrune's rule continues, the harder he is going to clamp down on that, and the longer that he continues to close his fist around the city, the harder it is going to be for you to help these poor souls. And the harder he closes his fist, the more likely it is you will be caught once more. And so, you see, you must understand that by allowing us to foment this revolution, this is in your best interest to keep you from, once again, returning to slavery. That's a diplomacy check.
Hardcore. It's a success.
Okay.
She says, I'm kind of not surprised that Gondor told you, though even he doesn't know that I'm not working with the Bellflower, and I haven't since the Purge. Not that it would be a good idea to do that, in a city kind of ruled by martial law like this, but it feels almost like I don't have. I feels almost like I don't have anywhere to go. That I don't have any other options, and that I kind of just have to sit here and bear it.
None of us have
in
anywhere
order
to go.
to keep
That's
keep
the
my
thing
friends safe.
that Alaric says. Is none of us have anywhere to go. I myself am trapped in this city, far from my home. No, do you know what a terrible feeling that must be, or that is?
You can roll, yeah, roll that.
What do I roll for that?
And any of the three, you can. They kind of.
He loves it. He uses bluff. No. They're both the same.
I'm just saying. I think you can phrase that. Jesus Christ. I think you can phrase that in a variety of different ways. That's a success.
We're at what, 6
she
successes?
says-
5 successes?
You guys are at 6 successes, 1 failure right now. She says, "I get that. I do," and I don't know. I haven't heard from you, Mountain Man. I don't know why you're here. I don't know.
So, I'm not really from the city. I'm from like the woodlands, kind of far away. And, you know, we just try to live our lives by ourselves and not worry too much about like the people far away. But like when my family was just living out, making a living in the woods, we were told by some officials that development was going to be happening in that area for like logging or something like that. But I went to just wage a complaint with the government official, some other Thrune of some such. I don't remember his name.
His
But
name is
because
Lucian. His name is Lucian
No.
Thrune.
So no. I actually know that it's Lucian
Oh,
because
okay,
I wrote
fair
down
enough.
the thing. I remember that, but I'm pretending my character wouldn't really necessarily remember his specific name.
Yeah,
That's why
okay,
I was
you
talking
sure.
about.
I just wanted
But-
to make sure.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying there is that he's, you know, like related to this guy. He just heard me complaining and thought it sounded rebellious and just threw me in jail. He didn't want to deal with it. I don't think that you're going to be safe if you just sit here and try to not and stay out of it. I think that basically everyone's going to have to pick a side and fight for it, or else you're liable to just be like picked for the other side, and then they'll just throw you back in jail or make you a slave again. I don't really think they care. I think he says he's doing it for progress, or to help the people, but I don't think that the people of his ilk really care. I guess I'll roll diplomacy. Do I get the inspiration
Actually,
from Beauregard? Or I rolled Beauregard, right?
Buddy,
Oh, man.
Okay,
I
I'm
was,
back.
like,
I'm
talking
back.
shit.
So yeah, you can roll. You can roll
So
Beauregard's
you-
check for that.
So you don't get my full bonus. You get 1d20 plus my skill ranks is 1 plus your int modifier plus 1d6.
I don't know if this is... Oh, sorry. By the way, buddy, did you actually hear me, or did you, like, just...
I heard most of it. I just DC'd for like 5 seconds.
Okay, I think that worked.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Okay, yeah. So that's a failure. She says, "Listen, I get what you're saying, but you're not asking me to join a rebellion that's already swelling and already, in progress. You're asking me to join you're asking me to join on the ground floor. You're asking me to get this thing started, and that's a much more dangerous proposition."
I'd say you're a practical lady. I understand. And if you're worried about such practical things as resources and availability, look at who stands before you. You have a noble, well connected to one of the richest families in the city. You have an elf from far away, also connected to one of the other richest noble houses in the city. You're not transmitting, Charles.
I was saying that I showed off my staff that has the cool symbol on it.
you have an associate of a third noble house, of one of the major of the trading partners in the region. And I motion to Rakax.
I nod.
And so I think we are well prepared on the practical end of this rebellious front when it comes to fomenting a successfully financed revolution.
Yes, say you like that word, don't you?
I do. I'm gonna roll a praise for that and burn an inspiration.
Boy.
1d20 plus 4 plus... I can roll a praise untrained, right? Buddy? Buddy?
Buddy.
I mean, he's in here technically. We can't hear you, buddy. If
If
you
you're talking, we can't hear you.
if you're talking.
It says nothing on D20, so go for it.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the system. Buddy's
Oof.
down. The system is down.
That inspiration, so klooch.
Yeah, no, I have built
That-
Skill
that's-
Monkey the character. I will monkey all of the skills.
I mean, I hope that succeeds. We'll have to wait for Buddy to stop jerking off or whatever he's doing.
Oh, I hope there's no problems.
All those cops, they're coming for him. They got him!
I
Oh,
mean,
no,
we have to
Barzo
hear a lot.
came for Buddy.
Man, that's some intense RP.
Yeah, in preparing the GM for this role, Buddy went to jail for 6 months.
Oh, that's bad.
Yo, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone should idle in the Twitch channel.
Uh,
Gotta get our viewers up.
That's right. The more people we have in the Twitch channel, the higher it will be.
That's
he's
exactly
trying to get
it.
reconnected, Rachel says.
Wait, what? Who's trying to get reconnected?
I
What?
assume Buddy, because that's the only key she would have any sort of insight
he's
into.
totally. Yeah, he's gone from the chat, so clearly.
Oh, wait, did Rachel message you on Facebook or something?
No,
No,
she
she's
mentioned-
talking. She's talking in the Twitch chat. She is one of our loyal viewers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She knows. Oh, Mumbles.
What happened
Okay.
to Mumble?
Actually,
I guess he has to
no,
restart.
no,
Wait,
no,
can you guys hear me?
Server.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yes,
that was
we
a success.
can hear you,
She
buddy.
says, to be honest, I had no idea that you were all connected to these noble families. That is heartening, but it doesn't address the problem that I've had since the beginning. I don't trust Gondar. I think he's acting emotionally. He's being spiteful and he's being vengeful, and that's just
You're
going
right,
to
he
get
does
people
sort
killed.
of seem like a scoundrel. But for the moment, Gondar is one man, and we are many men.
If you cannot
and
believe
a
in
bird.
Gondar, believe in us, who believes in Gondar.
I don't believe in Gondar, but I do believe in the power of
A plus, Mango. A plus.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Ours is the diplomacy that will pierce the heavens.
Exactly.
I looks like I have to reconnect to roll 22, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah,
what this
it's okay.
fucking
Roll 20
bullshit
is.
So give me a minute to have that happen, I guess. She says, well, listen, I was under the impression that Gondar was going to lead this thing. Is that not the case?
No, and I put my hand on Beauregard's shoulder and say, Beauregard here will spearhead.
Well, I
See,
think
oh,
it's
fuck.
But then,
democracy,
as soon as she says that, she
Oh.
says, "See, even this I don't even agree with, right? If you were to tell me that I had a seat on some kind of council that had all of us in it, right? Because even though I don't necessarily trust Gondar, he's a smart guy who's been doing this kind of thing for 8 decades, right? That's something I can get behind.
So
Is that
what
something
if,
you can
what if I
promise
were
me?
to tell you, you would have a seat on a council that included all of us?
Wait, also, I want to say that we're not. This isn't all set in stone. Like, if you help us, your say gets weighed in as much as any of ours.
Okay.
About how you
Well,
want
that
us
sounds
to
good
run.
to me.
All of you are making this together, so we'll just call this Beauregard's diplomacy check because
Okay.
it will probably succeed.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like I'm actually back in roll 20 yet. I'm still at the loading
You
screen.
got a 20.
I got a 20.
Yeah,
Really?
1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 9 plus 4.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant net 20.
no.
Yeah, that's a success. She says, fine. That's something I can get behind. But the one, I want my people to be safe. I want that guarantee from all of you right here, right now, that Maggie, that Gormy, that the people who just come to this coffee house because they got no place else to go, they're not going to get wrapped up in this. Is that a promise you can make?
Wait, what'd she say again? Sorry, I don't need to repeat yourself.
She basically asked, she said that she doesn't want, like, the face of her coffee house to be, she doesn't want Maggie, she doesn't want Gormy, she doesn't want any of the regulars that sit in the coffee house, that don't want to be involved to be involved, right? She doesn't want Bars Lythroon to come bust down the long roads and interrogate Maggie with torture in order to figure out who you guys are.
So you want to have a separate place eventually?
No,
maybe?
well, yeah, it's a little bit of that. She just wants a promise that you guys are going to prevent that from happening as much as possible.
I look into her eyes and I say,
Oof.
Lara, look, I understand your concerns, and I promise you that each and every one of us will do our best to protect your beloved friends and to ensure that nothing bad comes to them. But I cannot lie to you. I must tell you that that is always a possibility. We cannot absolutely guarantee that will not happen. And I understand that might be hard for you to accept. And I give you my word that we will do our best to make sure it does not happen. But you need to you need to understand that that's not something that we can absolutely guarantee. It would be dishonest of me to try and convince you otherwise. And I roll a diplomacy check after I click my character.
Hey, she goes, you know what? That's good enough. You've convinced me. Listen, we can, God, I don't even know what to say because I've just been sitting here trying to get by without any of this kind of crap entering my life, and now all of a sudden I'm with it. Whatever. We can head down to the Wasp's Nest whenever you want, and we can talk about this a little bit more fully. I'm sure Gondor wants to come and condescend to me about all of this stuff.
We could silence Gondar if that's a problem.
That's what I hate him so much. You see this C in B2? That C is a trapdoor to the cellar that you all came up from, that is where the Wasp's Nest is. She says, I'll be down there in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go grab Gondor and bring him into the Wasp's Nest
Can we bring these
where we can
groovy
talk
jazz
about
fellows with us?
the groovy jazz music will stay on. It will echo through the corridors, I guess.
I can't hear the groovy jazz music. I have no idea where it is.
Oh, really?
The jukebox now playing nothing currently.
Can you guys hear it?
It says smooth jazz
There
piano.
we go.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite of these songs.
I can't hear it. What's with this bullshit?
It might be low or like your. Can you hear it now?
Master
I
music
just turned it
volume
up
level. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's so groovy.
It's so groovy. So you guys can head down into the Wasp's Nest.
No, I want to go exploring. Fuck you.
Gondor and Lyra head down in a few minutes.
Where is it?
It's to the right.
Okay.
If you see in C4, there's a bunch of tables. That's where Lyra and Gondor sit.
I immediately bolt out the door and go to Bars Lythroon. Barzillai, they're fomenting the revolution!
Okay, campaign over. Barzillai Thrun shows up and murders all of you. No.
No, we gotta fight.
You only get
Mark.
one turn.
Yeah,
One round.
say,
One-
after
Yeah.
2 rounds, Barzillai Thrun murders all of you. Are you happy now?
Yeah. Barzillai Thrun uses Flame Strike and does like 1 billion d6 damage. Anyway, Gondor and Lyra head down and meet
Ray,
you at
railroading
these
successful.
table. Yeah, yay! The railroad is complete. As all of you kind of gather in that C4 room, Gondor kind of says, "To be honest, I didn't necessarily expect this to happen, but I'm glad all of you have signed up. Lyra told me that she wants this to be more of a council, and that you all agreed that there should not be, one leader to all of this. Is that right?"
Indeed.
Where am I? I
I
don't
for
see
one
myself.
said
Yeah.
Beauregard. But I understand that I was overruled.
By Beauregard.
I think having singular leader very similar to the problem created by Barzillai Thrun single-handedly coming in.
Well, perhaps,
Telling
but
us
in this sort of disorder, this disorganized council, there could be chaos, and I could think Beauregard here seems to have a decent head on his shoulders. He comes from good blood. He's well connected in the city. I could think of none better than to lead
He
us, except
also-
perhaps.
Gondor crosses his arms and he says, "No, I don't think it's smart, because what if Beauregard dies? The last thing I want is for, someone to be too much of a figurehead, right?"
Maybe,
so
maybe
even
we
if-
should leave
100%.
Beauregard behind when we go on all of our missions. He seems to only be good at talking.
Quiet, Alaric. I've not asked for your backsass. I vote that everybody but Alaric be on the council.
But seriously, though, all joking aside, inability to hit things aside, having a single ruler makes the chain of command a lot easier.
We agreed to a council. That is what convinced Lara to join this council, and I will not renege on my word.
I
Lyra
just wanted
says,
to.
"I appreciate that."
I just wanted to throw it out there that plenty of rebellions have failed due to a lack of leadership from the top, of vision.
Well, I don't think we're going to lack for vision anytime soon. Even before any of you agreed to join with me, I knew that this was the path that I was going to go down. And
So you're
I've
saying
created...
you want to be the leader?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just mean in the sense of I have a plan. And I
Okay.
think that's the first part that we have to start with, is we have to start with a plan. So as far as that goes, I think we have 2 things that we want to focus on, and 1 that we need to avoid. All right? The first goal to be accomplished, so to speak, is to fill out this council with people that we can trust, with people that can administrate day to day. That was never my strong suit, even when I was running practically all the crime in Kintargo. And I don't think that any one person should shoulder that burden. You all need to be free, I think, in order to go and actually accomplish the things that we want to accomplish in the city. So I think it would be prudent to recruit a couple of extra people that we know, that we trust, in order to fill in those slots. The second goal that I think we need to accomplish is to figure out more of what Barzillai Thrun wants to accomplish in the city. And the only clue I have regarding that is my interrogations when I was imprisoned. They took me to functionally a torture chamber about once a month for those 6 months that I was incarcerated, and they asked me so many questions that it's hard to keep them straight. But the one thing that came up every time that I was brought down there was my staff. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that might be one of the reasons that I was targeted in this whole thing to begin with, is because, I don't know, Barzillai Thrun wants this stuff for some reason, and we should figure out what that is. And the one thing we need to avoid at all costs is discovery. I don't want to mince words. Barzillai Thrune has more resources. He's got more people. He could waltz into the Long Rose Coffee House and probably kill anyone with enough backup, with enough of an army at his disposal. And we're going to be small when we start this. So we need to make sure that we don't earn his ire, that he doesn't know who we are or what we're trying to accomplish for as long as possible. He'll find out eventually. That's just bound to happen. But when we start, secrecy is key. Do you all agree with everything?
If we had a master of disguise.
Do you all agree with everything that I've just laid out?
I agree with everything except this notion of democracy. And like, my out-of-character snarkiness aside, is something that Alaric actually is being serious about.
No, yeah, I feel that. The Shattered Hall is a hierarchy, so that makes sense. What was I saying? He says, well, good. I suppose, let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of go over these rebellion rules. You can find them in your journal under handouts, under organization rules. The general one that kind of is going to start all of this is the rebellion in play, which is kind of the skeleton, and some of the other, rebellion activities, rebellion events, officers, teams, explanations. These are the things that we'll kind of get to as we get there. But basically what's going to happen is each week, you guys will meet up and you'll decide what the rebellion wants to do for that week. It's going to be broken into 3 phases. The upkeep phase...
Upkeep,
draw. The upkeep phase is where a bunch of passive shit happens, whether or not you guys recruit followers kind of leave, what happens with your notoriety. I should mention, by the way, that the notoriety maximum, it says, like, your notoriety score is 100, 3 agents take action to round up and execute people or whatever. That's not explicitly true. The more notoriety you gain, this is kind of that, like, third thing that you was talking about. The more notoriety you gain, the more in-game stuff happens to, like, the Silver Raven. So keeping your notoriety down is how you keep your yourselves secret. And if your notoriety goes nuts, you know what I mean? Not necessarily. It doesn't even have to be breaking 100, right? But certain things will just happen that I can't reveal because they would be spoilery. So,
how do we gain followers?
You gain followers with recruitment actions that you can do during the activity phase. Also, activities and events.
Like free T-shirts.
Well, so the activities there are certain actions you can undertake each week. Those actions will be like decided by your teams, right? Which are groups of people who work with you to do. To like accomplish the things that you guys set out to do, so that's like that's you being active, and then the event phase is just random stuff that happens in the city each week. An event doesn't proc every week, but it probably procs every other week, just by the way that math is done. You can look at Rebellion Advancement to just kind of get a sense. I took a screen cap of the Rebellion Advancement table that will show you what you guys need to do in order to kind of like rank up your rebellion. As your rebellion ranks up, by the way, it will naturally garner attention. So even if you keep your notoriety at 0, by the time you're rank 15, you can't really have 1,000 followers of something without Barzillai Thrune catching word. So just be aware that the more you rank up, you will eventually become kind of a more public force.
Wait, first of all, what is focus check and secondary check?
Cool. So you have 3 focuses that you can, like 3 things that you can focus on.
Per character or per...
For the rebellion as a whole, right? You can focus.
Where is focus check?
The focus, it's in the Rebellion Advancement handout.
Oh, Rebellion Advancement. Sorry, I need to bring this up that way the viewers can.
You can take one of 3 kind of paths, like on what you want to focus on.
Buddy?
Is that like our main activity?
I thought I was. Everyone was.
Oh
I
no.
guess
Buddy
Buddy
again.
disconnected again.
Okay.
Butteroo.
What is when I assume PC boon is like a bonus we get for getting that right.
Here's
What's
that-
training? Is training +1 like a skill rank? Is that what that means?
I think that's a skill rank, but I don't know because I am not Buddy. Rachel, tell Buddy that he's being an app.
Disconnected.
Get wrecked. I like how we get XP a bunch. Is that the only way we level up as a character? That'd be kind of funny.
We get XP the normal way, at least I assume. Though I doubt that Buddy is keeping track of strict XP numbers.
I mean, yeah, I thought he just had story points where he...
Actually,
Okay.
I moved in from
Can you guys
Ghost
hear
me?
Fire
What's up,
server.
bro?
Yes.
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, so if you bring up the Rebellion Advancement tab, or handout, it will explain what focuses are. It says when your party gains control of the Silver Ravens, user group must decide what overall tactic your rebellion will favor. If you want your organization to focus on political clout and popularity, select loyalty. If you want to remain sneaky and subtle, select secrecy. If you want to be scrappy and eager to get in fights against Thrune agents, select security. You may reorient your rebellion as an action, and your focused organization check gets this bonus. Does that make sense?
I see.
Yeah.
What is that check used for? Like, what does the +2 go to? For
So
instance?
So certain events happen, or you take certain activities, right? If you have a group of spies, and you want your spies to do some spying, what's most likely going to happen is they are going to roll a secrecy check, right? And if secrecy is the focus of your rebellion, that
Gotcha.
check gets a +2.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. At rank 1, which is what your rebellion is at right now, the focus check is +2. Second checks are 0. The rebellion actions you can take each week, you can only take 1. You can max out at 2 teams. You guys get a team for free at the beginning of this, and I'll explain it a bit.
Are we a team as well?
No, you guys are kind of like so. This is what's going to happen with teams. You will get. You can like recruit teams as normal, right? So like you can recruit a team of spies and you can recruit a team of whatever. But over the course of the campaign, you will get bonus teams, which are typically going to be teams that are, first of all, they're RP related, and second of all, they don't fit quite into the mold of, each of the individual kind of breakdowns of this thing. There's going to be 2 teams. For each book, there's going to be 2 bonus teams for each book, and you'll get to choose one of those 2 in order to be your like dedicated bonus team. They don't count against your maximum, and they tend to be more focused than they are. So that basically, the regular teams, like the normal teams, are relatively wide in terms of their ability to do stuff. And the bonus teams will be very focused, right? So you'll get a bonus team that can only take 1 action, but they take that action particularly well, kind of a thing. Or, specific kinds of missions will show up that will be specifically suited for this bonus team. If that makes sense. As far as RP goes, teams are basically just going to be their team leaders. We'll go through that in a minute when you guys... when we talk about some of that stuff. What else happens? For each week, you guys can do kind of do stuff on your own, but for the most part, it's assumed that you're doing other kind of administrative, regular stuff in order to fill in the gaps. So you guys can't like spend your entire week out adventuring and accomplishing a bunch of missions. It wouldn't be in your best interest to do that anyway, because you want to progress sort of in tandem with your rebellion.
What is training +1?
So as the rebellion powers up, the rebellion, because you guys are the leaders of it, you receive certain benefits. Training itself says you gain 1 bonus skill rank that can be immediately applied to any skill of entering or background.
Yeah, I realize it's at the bottom.
Oh,
But we're not
totally.
using XP, so that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the XP doesn't. Yeah, the XP doesn't matter.
Should be free
I'm gonna ask
feats
something
instead.
about that.
If it's a skill rank, does that mean like can we advance it beyond our normal maximum?
No.
Okay, so it's just like a 1 point in a random skill.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have like a +1 in some skill that, like, so if we're level 5, we will have one skill at 1 plus.
Congrats, Mango. You get even more skill points.
Yes. right. But it's not like I get one rank per we get 1 rank per level. It's like we get one skill at a very low level. Yes.
Sure. I mean, you can put it towards some. You know what I mean? If you have 8 ranks and you're level 9 in climb, you can put that in.
Fair enough.
The 9, But yeah, in general, what you're describing is correct. Anyway, a lot of the specific stuff is dealt with. So, like, recruiting supporters and stuff is an activity. In Rebellion activities, you can just see what all of the activities are. It will also talk about what team can undertake those activities, or what team is, required to undertake those activities. Teams, if you look at teams explanation, teams rank up. They come in 4 categories. Advisors, which are kind of like demagogues, kind of, right? Outlaws, who are kind of like spies. Rebels, who start off, I don't quite understand this one, but they basically start off as just kind of like muscle, but then progress into casters for some reason, and then traders, who are obviously just merchants or whatever. They can rank up, and the explanation for how you can get how you can upgrade your street performers to rumor mongers is is an action to upgrade a team. You also need you also need an amount of gold in order to do that. What else? You will also get allies for your organization. The allies are not necessarily people who join the organization, but Gondor and Lyra are the first 2. Allies will always have a bonus associated with them that makes them, useful, and you'll want to try and kind of recruit as many allies as possible. So let me see if I can find.
Is the allies thing on one of the sheets?
No, I'm trying to find. I will transcribe it in a second.
I'm not particularly worried. If I can open these on the screen for people to see, that's.
Yeah, 1 second. I just need to. Okay, so you will see the allies in a second because I'm making this visible. Alright. It should be visible. You should see the Lyra and the Gondor ally bonuses. Ally bonuses only count when they are part of your
where would we see that?
organization. It should be under Silver Raven's potential allies.
Potential allies? It's CSR allies.
It actually is just allies. It was my own. I have a sheet that lists out all of the allies you guys can get.
It's blank.
Really?
Do you Charles?
Yes.
Somebody else.
Oh no, I see it.
That's our allies, right?
It should see. Yeah, it should see. I just renamed it to Silver Raven allies.
Okay, there are 2. Okay.
Yeah,
there's
for
2 of
Lyra
them?
and Gondor. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 in there right now.
I see what Mango was looking at, but that's not the same thing.
There's one that's called SR Allies, and one that's called Silver Ravens Allies.
Oh, yeah.
Here's SRO.
That's
It's
also for
in-
Silver Ravens.
Oh, right, man.
That's where
so
it's
smart.
probably
I actually thought
That
of it.
one
This is
doesn't
100%
have
where
it.
it should be. So I'm gonna transcribe it there. 1 second.
Sounds
We'll just call it a day. So Lyra and Gondor give you a couple of bonuses. Lyra gives you. She is good. She's better at recruiting supporters, and gather information checks. And as long as Gondor is part of your organization, gather information checks never increase your notoriety. And sometimes you can also use gather information just like a general sense to like, let's like, you can roll on the rumor table or something like that. But you can also use that for very directed things. Like, let's say you wanted to gather information on Noble House X. Anytime you make a directed gather information check like that, it gets a +2.
So these checks are the actions that we have teams undertake.
Yeah. Gather information is a specific action. I think it's open to the outlaws, or like the spies or whatever they're called. Sneaks.
The alligators, the cognoscenti, the rumor mongerinos, and the street performers. It's on the Rebellion Activities page.
If multiple teams are listed, it's because
Any of them could do it.
yeah, any of them could do it. As your teams rank up, they don't lose access to the things that they could do, but they do gain access to more actions or like different kinds of actions.
So where's recruit teams?
Recruit teams is an action that doesn't take anything, but yeah, we can also talk about what you guys want to do for this week. Attempting to recruit a new team. You just have to roll the DC for the specific kind of organization check. If you roll a nat 1, your notoriety increases. The other thing is, so to just kind of like back out of mechanics for a second, Lyra says, we're gonna need people. We're gonna need people to work with, people who are going to, people who are gonna follow orders and accomplish tasks a little bit more mundane than what you guys need to be focusing on. To be honest, I think I have a great guy upstairs. His name is Morgar Manthai. He's a former guard. He's a former Dotari, but he quit the city guard out on protest because he thought the purge was honestly bullshit. And he's just kind of been hanging out in my bar ever since. I think he'd be the right kind of guy for the job. Do you want me to talk to him?
Maybe, well,
I nod.
we don't want to go around.
I think that sounds good.
We're starting a criminal conspiracy here. We may want to be have slightly more candor than oh hey, dude who used to be in the guard, want to join our criminal conspiracy?
Listen, I know a lot about talking to people and figuring out what their kind of motivations are without giving away too much of my own illegal activity, so to speak. But I think Morgar, even though he was a Dotari, first of all, that gives him a little bit of extra insight into what might be happening with them and from that kind of perspective. And second of all, I think if he was the kind of guy to sell all of us out, he wouldn't have quit
Maybe just
because
don't
of the
tell
purge.
him right away then. Go on. I see that everyone in the little democracy here wants this to happen.
Fair enough. Morgar, just so you guys know, Morgar is going to be your first team. You just get him automatically, and he is and he's going to be the team leader for a group of outlaws, sneaks. God, now I'm like losing track. Yeah, he is going to be the first in a group of outlaws.
Is it in the SR
for you
team
guys.
sheet? No, it's not.
No, he's not there yet. So yeah, you start with this counts towards your maxes. He's not a bonus team or anything. He's just the first team you get. And
We get one action even though we have two teams, so we can't send both teams out.
Yeah. Some of your teams are just gonna hang out. That's just normal.
How long does it take a team to do their job? Is it like once
A week.
per session? We can
Everything
assign
is inside of a week. Certain of our sessions, I think a lot of our sessions will just be week to week. We're gonna open kind of with what happened last week, but sometimes, maybe it's just like a small RP thing that you guys accomplish or whatever. And so, we might do 2 weeks in one, in one session.
is most of what we're doing with this, like when we assign teams and stuff, is that what we're gonna do in the sessions, or
Yeah,
occasionally
we're
are
gonna
we
do-
also
we're gonna
gonna
do this in
do that
session.
in like our chat or shit like
I feel
that?
like it would be well suited to do maybe in character in a chat.
Oh, I definitely think it would be, but I just meant that we had the ability to do that sort of stuff in chat if
I'm
we weren't actually going to
relatively.
meet that week.
Yeah,
in
I'm
some
actually
corner
kind of
situation.
relatively open to that. If you guys want to do something along those lines, that's not the end of the world. I definitely want to. So the rebellion teams are as much about accomplishing stuff for the rebellion, which you're going to need to like rank up and do all that kind of stuff in order to become. In order to actually challenge Barzillai Thrune. But it's also to help you guys out. You can send out teams to scout locations for missions that you're going to undertake, or to gather information about, like mission leads that you're going to want to undertake. So, it's definitely something that I want to handle in session in character, at least some of the time. But yeah, if we want to do some of this stuff out, or like on like Jimmy kind of said, like on off weeks, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and I don't have a strong preference. I just thought it was interesting that I think there's a good ability to do it, not in in the chat if we wanted to. So that's kind of nice.
We
to
can
have
also
the option.
that
But
kind of
it's
stuff
always
can
more
also.
fun to do it in Mumble and in the actual session.
That's true, but it's also something that we can just kind of like maybe I'll create like a Facebook group, like an in character Facebook group for this, because it's also something that you can do where you can. Like maybe you want to ask Gondor about his opinion on something, but it's not necessarily all that. Like we do that and handle that, in character, but out of game in Facebook. That's fine.
No one, for my Wrath of Righteous game, we made an in-character chat, but no one's used it in like forever.
Is that a
tried.
recommendation?
No,
Recommendation against this kind of thing?
It doesn't really matter.
I've never done anything like this, so it's kind of up to you guys.
It's just, but I think it's a neat idea. I like it because it keeps people connected. Although our loyal viewers won't be privy, we'll have to post the log somewhere for Rachel and Mark to read.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true. Okay, so you guys have Morgar Manthai. He's going to be his group of sneaks are going to be your first group. And what do you want to accomplish this week? You can also ask Gondor more about those other goals that we kind of laid out for more information along those lines. Those two goals, the book thing and the other thing, are going to be more or less what you are focused on, rather than what like the teams or whatever are focused on.
So I would think our primary initial goals are to get more teams so that we can do more things, maybe. Also just getting people, I guess, but it feels like getting the people that do stuff more so than just followers would be, like, more powerful.
Getting teams is definitely a good idea. Is there
I
anything?
claim leadership over us.
Is there anything you guys want to do offhand?
You mean
I still have to read a bunch of this as far as actual activities and stuff.
Okay, if you want to take, I understand this is a lot of it's a lot of like hardcore rules and mechanics. If you guys want to read that, and we can kind of deal with what your rebellion is going to do in next session, that's fine. Yeah, you can also you should also
like
figure
gather
out
information or something.
Well, so yeah, you guys also will probably want to ask Gondor about these other things because they are the quests. Yeah, these are the quests that are going to go into your quest log, and you guys are going to
What are the other things?
complete. the things, so he wants to recruit a couple more officers, recruit, oh, fuck, I forgot about officers. Okay, there's even more complication
Oh,
to this.
good, more rules.
Okay, so an officer's explanation, it basically outlines these 6 officer roles that you guys will need to fill. Cards on the table, because of your success with Lyra, she's basically agreed to be your recruiter, which she is especially good at. The recruiter is who specifically recruits people to your
So we only have
to
like 6
supporters.
officers.
Yes, there's only
So we
6
have 6
officers. You can double up on the recruiter, apparently. The officer, you can have multiple officers of each role, but officer bonuses don't stack, except for the recruiter. So there's that.
Head spy, I would like to be the spy master.
I mean, officers don't count ourselves, right?
I thought this is
They
officer roles
do-
are generally taken by
So
PCs.
here's the thing. Yeah, they're generally taken by so they're generally taken by PCs. I initially kind of didn't want that to happen. I kind of liked the idea of like you guys recruiting people to put them in officer positions, but I don't actually like that anymore. That's like 6 months ago. Buddy thought that was a good idea. So yeah, you guys can choose where you want, like what role you want to be. You can also like vacate the role for somebody else to step up. Certain
Takes
allies
an action per week.
in the sense of Lyra, for instance, Lyra's ability as an ally, like her bonus as an ally, only procs when she's the recruiter, and so certain officers are going to demand that they, you know what I mean? Like certain officers are going to demand that they are certain roles within the organization. So just be aware of that.
So, just looking at these officer things, they usually seem to be based on, like, stats and whatnot, so that would probably just gauge who gets into what. But also, there's 5 of us, and then we got our 2 allies right now, so that means someone's just not going to be used as an officer.
No, yeah,
Is
oh
that
yeah,
really-
it shouldn't. Gondor isn't going to be an officer.
Oh.
Mostly
okay.
because he's a ridiculously high-level NPC, and it would be a little bit broken.
Well, you know what? I vote, because this is a democracy, that Gondor is one of our officers.
He says, listen, I understand, but well, so like I mentioned before,
I'm too
I think
important for your little.
It's
like I
fine, buddy.
mentioned
You don't have to
before,
do it.
it's I think one of the things we need to focus on is figuring out what bars the Lythrin wants with my stuff, and that's what I'm going to focus on for most for the coming weeks.
I thought this was a democracy, and we demand that you occupy an officership role.
You can make that demand of me, but it's going to mean that we're not going to make any progress on figuring out what Baz Lythrin is doing here.
Fine.
And that's bad. He says, specifically, I'm going to be trying to find the Order of Archivists in Kintargo. To be honest, when I was doing older things, what I used to do was sell the Order of Archivists unredacted books and works of literature and everything. And once they offered to pay me by way of a book called The Tome of Dreams and Nightmares, which they said would explain things about the stuff that I never knew, because I was a little bit short-sighted about it. I did not take that payment, but finding that book is going to be my focus. It's going to be my priority, I think.
Have I heard, with my knowledge, local check, where the Order of Archivists is?
You don't know where the Order of Archivists is, but you do know that they exist. The Order of Archivists are famous in Cheliax because they, they're a big underground organization like the Bellflower Network, who are trying to preserve information.
I'm not going to lie, I was really just hoping that I could fish a 20 out of that and be like, oh, they're over there.
Gondor, who has been selling them books for 80 years, doesn't even know where their library is.
I was just trying to be cheeky, because it would have been funny.
Yeah, fair enough. He says, but what I think you should focus on is going to be recruiting more people for this council. People that can administer, more of the day-to-day managing the teams and training them up and those kinds of things. At first, I suppose the group of us will be focused on that until we can get our people together. But I don't know who. I can.
Do we know the minimum treasury value?
The minimum treasury value, I think, is in the rebellion advancement, or maybe it's not. Do you know the minimum treasury value?
Do we know?
Does the treasury have a value currently?
The value is 0.
Yeah, I thought when reading the rules there was not a check for treasury the first time, or that was something else. That was the notoriety check.
Yeah. I'll have to double check the rules and get back to you guys about that.
Can I RP?
Yeah.
Say to Lyra, well, it seems like since you found one fellow officer's name,
Morgar Manthai.
you might have ended your position in as a purveyor of sorts to those who might be sympathetic with our thoughts. Maybe we can enlist your help in getting a few more reputable people on our side.
That sounds good. I'll focus on that in the coming weeks. I have a couple of people in mind.
Don't do anything rash. We don't want this all to get blown up.
No, I definitely understand that.
She doesn't seem like a rash person.
I'm not
says,
saying you are, but my nature as the newly appointed spy master, cautious.
I think that's fair. She says, what kind of team do you think that I should look for first? I'm just going to assume, by the way, that your first rebellion activity for the week is going to be a recruit team action.
Not supporters team.
You want to recruit supporters? Gotcha.
I mean,
gotcha.
I don't.
Fair enough.
I
really
did
know
say
the
team
difference.
before.
I thought you meant team. I didn't realize you meant supporters. Obviously, they are. Yes. Anyway.
I meant team.
There's probably so. Real quick, I don't know what more supporters gets us.
More
It just
supporters
ranks
ranks
us
you
up.
up. If
It's
you look
literally
on the left
gaining
side,
XP.
yeah,
So
it's
we have
literally
we have
gaining
one
XP, yeah.
we have one action we can take a week, and we have one team. Getting another team might not have the resources to really focus our effort on more than one team. Perhaps we should focus on the team we have and instead try and get more people in league with us. But I leave that up to you, my fellow rebelliers.
That sounds like something that we should vote on. Who wants to recruit a team and who wants to recruit supporters?
Wait, so how many actions do we get a week?
We get one
one.
as level 1. At level 2,
At
we
rank
get
2,
dose.
you get 2.
Oh, okay. So
It's
I
in
guess
that
we
it's
should.
in that table on Rebellion Advancement.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay. So I guess we should get more people so that because we have one team, right? That
We have
counts
a team,
towards our
but
one
they're all
team.
outlaws. But are they outlaws or are they rebels?
Well, so
I think
outlaws
we are
is one
rebels.
type of team, and rebels is another type
No,
of
I'm
team.
looking
It's
at
really
the
confusing.
chart, and I would like to know which of the two.
Yeah, the team that you have right now, you have a team of outlaws.
Okay, so they are sneaks. What can
Mhm.
sneaks do?
Gather information, I think. Nope, they can secure cash.
Nice.
Maybe.
Ooh, maybe
No.
we want cash.
Wait, now I'm
You want
confused.
cash.
Oh yeah, street performers gather information. Right. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Can't
securing
gather
a cache,
information?
by the way. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason I gave you guys out. So, according to the book, you get to pick what first team it is, but I'm just shoehorning it as outlaws because you guys don't really have a healer. So, securing a cache is going to be kind of like a version of your healing, because they'll be able to secure a cache of a bunch of like potions of cure light wounds somewhere. So, when you undertake missions and go into these dungeons, so to speak, you will have some healing available to you besides just what Weirin can cast, because I think he's the only one that actually has any healing in his kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
just cards on table.
well, Gondar, while you're talking to the alchemists, do you have any thoughts, or perhaps you too, Lyra? Do you have any thoughts on where we might go, or what we should be doing in the meantime, or would it make more sense to focus our activities on on fomenting rebellion as fellow rebellioneer.
Gander says, I think that you
Beauregard.
should focus on recruiting officers for the
Perfect.
organization. I have 3 in mind who are unsurprisingly former lieutenants of my own organization, but they're all they're all trained. I trust them personally, and I think that they have the skills that we need in order to accomplish our goals.
So,
The first one
hold on a
you've
second,
already met.
sorry. I thought you said we were gonna be like the officers, and then
You are going to be the
you-
officers. So here's the thing: you guys are going to be the officers, but you're going to be going out on missions all the time. So it's not like you can sit here and like do the day to day of like, oh, let's do fucking accounting. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not like a presidential term. It's like whoever happens to be at home base is the acting officer.
you guys will act as the officers. It's just more about having leaders who can administrate effectively. And kind of fill out the council in terms of NPCs and allies that you can gain access to. Because all of these allies are going to give you bonuses to your organization, which are obviously helpful.
Right. So, like, okay, I'm just trying to make sure I get this. So, like, we have the 6 positions, and, like, say I'm the partisan because I'm, like, strong, so I'm a security guy or something like that.
Yeah.
But then, like, we are... So now Gander is talking about 3 other people to recruit.
Yeah, these people
then
are
someone else
just,
could be
they're
good
just
at being
being
part of
recruited
it.
to the council in general. How
Gander.
you want to make them into officers is up to you. Right?
Gander, can I ask you?
Okay.
Ask you another question before
Sure.
we learn about all your friends?
Sure.
Um,
Actually, he says in accent.
Should we be worried about needing to perhaps go out and acquire their support? In which case, perhaps our friendly sneaks could provide us with some healing, or a cache of supplies. Or should we instead focus our efforts on recruitment and go talk to your friends without the
To be honest,
knowledge
that's
of
part
having-
of the problem. I don't quite know where all of them are. Like I said, I've got 3. The first one is, you've already met him. He's Mateo. He's a pirate captain from the Shackles. The second one is she's a woman. She was
Also
my
dirty
accountant. She was my accountant for a long time. Her name is Taylor Lewin, and I have no idea what happened to her. I know she wasn't picked up during the purge, though. And the third is my, my bruiser, the kind of guy that I sent to do just, when skulls needed to be cracked, he was willing to crack some skulls. His name is Vigo. I can give you, any more information about whichever one you want to focus on first.
This Vigo fellow sounds interesting. Is his last name
Is his last name
Mortensen?
Mortensen? Damn
No,
it,
shut
no.
the fuck up. To be honest, I don't even know what Vigo's last name is. He's just always gone by Vigo, as far as I know. I've been working with him the longest. He and I have been working together for more than a decade at this point. I recruited him out of Varisia. He was a mercenary with a great, shall we say, reputation for getting the job done. What I like about Vigo, almost in comparison to my, these other 2. In comparison to Taylor and to Mateo, is that Vigo is, he's blunt and he's straightforward. And there are some times when problems arise and we're all trying to think outside the box and figure out some clever fucking solution. And Vigo just reminds us all that, sometimes the problem is a nail and he's going to be the hammer, which is what I think he brings to a council in a situation like this.
look at Rockax and say, as much as I like hammers, I feel like this is a group of hammers, and we don't have enough nails right now.
Fair enough. Mateo and Taylor, kind of in their own way, are a little bit more clever when it comes to this. Mateo, So Mateo used to be a pirate in the Shackles, but he eventually left the Shackles after some stuff happened, and he needed an investor, someone to buy a stake in his ship in order to keep, his crew fed and everything. That crew is still here in Kintargo. As far as I know, they're in the harbor.
Boy, I've heard I've heard of wrong
No,
voice.
not at all.
I've heard of Mateo. I heard he left the shackles after he got attacked by a giant bird.
Gondor says, you know, I don't
Everyone-
know.
I look at Tal.
I don't know that I should really explain what actually happened, but there's a lot of rumors about why Mateo left the shackles. Anyway, the problem is, you know, you met Mateo the other night, and I sent him out to one of my old safe houses where I knew that I had a cache of gold, and I was hoping, honestly, that he'd be back by now, but he hasn't come back to the coffee house, so you know, we're going to need to find him. The thing that I like about Mateo, the thing that he brings to the table is, to be honest, he's a good person. He's a good guy. And there are times when, you know, Vigo is recommended something and I'm recommended something and I just want to get the job done. And Mateo's the person that says, you know, this is not the right thing to do. This is not the kind of people that we need to be. And I've always appreciated that about him, that idealism, so to speak.
If you want more nails, very well. I don't see many hammers in our party.
I've always thought of myself as more of
Chiseled intellect.
a screwdriver, if you know what I mean.
A screwdriver.
What is a screwdriver?
A device
these
for
meta-
driving
these-
screws.
These are some hardcore metaphors.
You
It's
must have a
beautiful.
couple loose there, Rakex.
Gondor says the third person who honestly, I didn't even work with her for all that long, but she was very good. She was
He's your
very good
girlfriend.
at her
We
job.
get it.
Her name was Taylor Lewin. She was actually a pirate with Mateo down in the shackles, but when my old money person left and kind of retired, it was Taylor who filled in the seat. In a lot of ways, she's the opposite of Mateo. You know, she is the ultimate pragmatist, and she wants to solve the problem and get it done as efficiently as possible. And so she's very good at keeping my all of our, I suppose at the time, ideas grounded in what is realistic and what actually happens. To be honest, I know that she avoided the purge. Her most important role in my organization was making sure that everything looked on the up and up. And so her job was technically very legal, even though it involved a lot of money laundering and that kind of thing. But I do think that she is in hiding just for that reason. So we're going to have to figure out where she's decided to go to ground.
Are these people in our the page that we have information on people?
Not yet.
Only Morgar is.
Yeah, I added Morgar to you guys.
Gotcha. I was just curious. So I guess we gotta go to finding these people. Do we have any leads?
The one lead I've got for Mateo, to be honest, is I sent him down to a warehouse that I suppose I used to own down by Red Roof, which is, the Tiefling district, down by Red Roof. So he might be there, but to be honest, you might want to check in with his ship. It's anchored in the harbor. It's called the Fortis. His first mate is a half-orc. His first mate is a half-orc there. He uses a harpoon. His name is Ralph.
Ralph, the half-orc harpoonist.
Ralph!
I just like that.
So, yeah, you might want to go check in with Ralph, see if he's heard anything in order to track down Mateo. When it comes to Taylor, it's just going to be about, asking around, trying to figure out if we can find any leads. The thing about Vigo is I know Vigo was put away because Mateo told me. He said that was one of the reasons that, everything with my old organization crumbled. The problem is he wasn't in the vault, as far as I know or understand. It seems as though he was being held in a different he's being held somewhere else. So we're gonna have to find out some of the other places that they were holding prisoners and see if he's in any of those.
Oh, so
That's
back
good.
to this rebellion thing real quick. Are we just going to recruit some supporters, chaps?
Yeah, because we
I
have our
agree with that.
maximum number of teams, right?
Yeah,
You have
the
one.
maximum-
You have
We
one
have
more
only
team
one.
to get, but
We could get another team, but we can
Oh,
only
hold
do
on,
one
hold on.
team action per week. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We could also-
so it's not.
or we could have the sneaks provide us with some advanced reconnaissance / supplies in case we need it.
Sneaky
Let's
sneaky.
get
looks
supporters, unless someone really objects.
I agree with supporters.
All right, cool. So,
Lyra nods and says, "I'll get on it."
There's an interesting dynamic. We always lose 1d6 around, even on a success, unless we critically succeed. We could lose more, I guess, but when we gain
You
them, we
don't-
gain like 2d6 or something.
Yeah, when you use the recruit supporters action, you gain 2d6 plus some extra stuff. The other thing is, even if you lose your supporters, you will never D-rank, right? So let's say you guys need 9 supporters, or like 10 supporters in order to progress to the next level. So let's say you get your 10 supporters, and then so you immediately rank up, and then your attrition happens and you lose 5 of them and go back down to 5 supporters, you're still rank 2. You never D-rank.
But we still have we are at 5 at that point, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a character in a game. I need 1,000 XP to level up, and then I die, which gives me minus, and then it's just like fuck. Now I
Yeah,
have
it's
more to go.
that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing.
That dynamic, so much fun.
Of those 3 missions, you guys can choose basically any of them. But just so I know what to prepare, which of these 3 officers would you like to hunt down? As
thought
we
we
actually
only
get
really
into.
had the
I feel like
resources
it
to go
shouldn't
after
be the
one.
one in.
I would,
Yeah,
The
you
jail
only-
one would
I
probably
would
involve
say,
fighting.
and feel free, other officers of our little gallant band. I would say that we're not really lacking for muscle right now, and we're not really lacking for a conscience right now, but we are lacking for finances and other practical things. So I would go after the financier.
Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. How much money do we have, and what is our quote-unquote minimum thing? Threshold?
Yeah, I have to look at the rules again to figure that out. You start with 0, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll figure out what the minimum treasury thing is, I guess, eventually.
It'd also be like 0 around for like the
yeah,
lower levels.
it should be 0. It's not a big deal.
Not
at
like
these
we have
low
any
levels.
upkeep costs.
Yeah. The other thing is, you guys leveled to 2. Oh, one more thing.
We're level 1 characters, right?
Lyra said, yeah, right now, right at this moment, you're level 1, but you will level 2 at the end of the session. Lyra says, I think the most important
Didn't
thing that we
fight.
can decide on right now is a name for
Oh.
our organization.
I vote the
Is
Golden
it the
Seals.
Silver Ravens?
Do it yourself, Charles. I'm not going through and renaming everything Golden Seals, just even if you voted in. It's bullshit.
I think we should be the Silver Rocks.
I
I
like
vote
this
for
name.
Cloud9.
God damn
What, you guys don't like
Wait,
rocks? Would
wait,
I
you
think
like
I might-
another
no, we have
animal, a raven,
code
perhaps?
names.
If you guys
taxi
name your rebellion team Solamid, I think I'd be okay with that.
Oh, okay.
I'll vigorously object to that.
What
Sounds
about,
like a
what
team
about
for
complexity?
losers and failures.
Well, we are a diverse group of individuals. Among us, we have a half-orc. I nod at the half-orc, whose name I forget because I'm not looking at the page.
Margaret.
And I nod over at Beauregard and say we have a noble. We had a very funny man by the name of Hunter Kexton.
Who never existed. You never had him.
Never had him. We have a cat person. We have a bird. I think that we are a very complex group of individuals. I vote that we be called Team Complexity. Beauregard, you have a very fine mustache.
God damn it.
I immediately start making up a disguise and be like, this personality is Bubba Dub.
Oh,
He really likes to take baths. Bubble baths.
Oh, League of Legends jokes.
All right. So,
Wait,
all
what
in
type of
favor of
bird-
team complexity.
What type of bird is
Tall?
It's tall.
It's tall.
yeah
It's a rock.
Rock.
okay.
She is a rock.
Okay.
it's a rock.
She is a rock.
ROC.
ROC.
RSC, it's a type of bird.
It
They
is
killed a lot of them if you played.
Oh.
Wow.
Right.
The Silver Rocks sounds very appropriate. House Jaltero is the House of Silver, and the bird is a rock. This makes sense to Beauregard.
Gonder says, to be honest, I think we would do ourselves a favor by calling ourselves the Silver Ravens.
You have a
Historically,
reason
the Silver Ravens are well known throughout the city, and
Hey,
we're kind of
Beauregard has
filling
something
in
going.
half of our reputation by naming ourselves after them.
What happened
Do
to
you
the
all
original?
agree?
What happened, what happened to the
Beauregard is
original
a
Silver
fancy
Ravens?
man.
No, we
Either they
are.
were mad that we stole their
He
name,
might know with his
I hate you
fancy
guys.
ways.
I hate you guys so much.
then you should have railroaded this better, buddy.
Well, yeah, Gardner says, well, we have to be the Silver Ravens because I already have the T-shirts made up.
Looks like
Well,
I'm
like,
chilling
literally,
getting
you
this
could have been
t-shirt.
like,
T-shirts.
I have these cool pendants. I think they would work well to identify other people and then have Silver Raven pendants, or like literally anything. But as a
Magically,
result-
he pulls out a bunch of fucking badges, and he's like, "Look, these badges are silver, and they are made out like ravens. We can give these badges to our supporters
That sounds
so
like a
that
terrible idea.
we are recognizable to one another."
I look
First
at the
it's
badge and I
democracy,
say,
then
I
it's
look at the
tell
badge and I
everyone
say,
who the fuck is-
I'm no ornithologist, but I'm pretty sure that's a rock on that badge.
God fucking damn it!
Now that you say, hold on, wait, where's my knowledge? No, I don't have knowledge nature. Knowledge nobility.
I don't care.
All right.
You guys all go to sleep, and Gondor uses his Dream Shaper ability to modify your memories to make you think that you named this
Well,
Raven.
unethical. He's a rebellion if he does that.
I will
You
say
all,
too.
you all fail your will saves.
I use my
Fuck
point
you.
to
Yes.
succeed the will save.
God damn it! Anyway,
The Silver Rocks shall live on.
Oh. So the Silver Ravens, huh?
Silver Rocks. They tried to do something to our minds, but you are all too weak-minded. I am an
What is a
elf, of
Silver
course.
Rock? No, we are
Silver Rock,
Silver
I
Ravens.
point-
that is a very confusing name. People don't understand it.
Why are we boulders?
We fast
Why are
forward. We
Ravens?
fast forward 3 weeks. Another rebellion organization has cropped up. They're called the Silver Ravens. They're way more successful than you guys. Campaign over. You all fail. Like,
Oh, is there going to be a rival rebellion that's like
no, there's
a rebellion but different?
There are
That'd be-
other rebellions, but they're not rivals. They are potential allies. Like, you can ally yourself with different like flavors of rebellion.
Gotcha.
I
And then
want
when
to
you
know
team
how
up
I
with
would
them,
rock
can we just
flavor.
like gain like 1 million followers? And by 1 million, I mean like a large number that would actually level us up.
What?
Are we done?
I asked if there are other rebellions, and I don't know if that happens in the story that we meet up and can ally with them.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
we
yeah. There
kind
are
of
other
merge together.
some of the,
into
some
a
of them are rebellions, but some of them are just like other kinds of like straight up organizations that you can like ally with. They don't necessarily like join the Silver Ravens, but functionally, they'll follow your lead as long as you guys are the top dogs in town.
Do
So
we
as long as
combine
we play
follower
nice.
numbers? Like, is that a way of leveling up, so to speak?
to ally with other organizations?
Yeah, like as in like the level of our organization is how many followers we have. When we ally up, do we gain their followers?
No,
so to
no.
speak?
It is, those allies are those allies will typically be represented by specific NPCs that are like allied to your cause, right? So let's say let's say a hypothetical scenario where Lyra didn't quit the Bellflower Network because of the martial law. She you could ally with her Bellflower Network. And she still gives you her bonus as an NPC, but now you have like the Bellflower Network like in tow. A lot of the times there are going to be more advanced things to be happening kind of on that stage. We'll get into it'll be a little bit more mass rulesy than it'll be a little bit more mass rulesy at that point because we'll be dealing with followers in the hundreds and thousands.
Oh.
Anyway, but you guys also level up to level 2. That happened.
Wow,
And,
I gained so many combat abilities for not doing any combat.
Yeah.
I'm just a savant of combat. I just think it's funny how like most of leveling up revolves around combat, and this is a much heavier RP type campaign.
Yeah, we did just have like 2 hardcore RP sessions in a row. Though I think the rebellion and the rebellion rules and the fucking diplomacy challenge are pretty crunchy in general.
Yeah, they're fun.
Is there anything else you guys want to do? I'll be preparing to get. You guys are looking for Taylor next week, so that's what I will
Correct.
prepare for your mission. Is there anything else?
For health, you just roll, right? You don't take average.
You roll after this point, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like it if you guys all rolled in chat like right now. That would be nice. I would like to.
Do we roll action points in your game?
No, you gain 1 action point. You gain 1 action point. What was it? 1 action point per level. 1 action point per book. And then
So-
you can get other ones by like having like specifically great RP and stuff like that.
So right now I'm level 2. I would have 2 action points.
Yeah,
I guess.
you guys would have
Okay.
2 action points.
And it is a pool. Okay. Are they rolling d10s because of their races? It's D8 for humans, right?
It's not
I'm
race.
rolling
It is
based
keyed
on
to
class.
Oh,
yes,
it's
keyed
class.
to your class. Your class is a
Yeah.
D8.
Oh yeah. Okay, I could not remember. I guess I get a 3. I guess.
Yay, leveling up.
Unlike Mark's game, I can't just free roll the action point roll there.
Yeah, you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Where is my?
I hate you, buddy. I just want you to know I hate you so much.
How many hit points
Actually,
do
I mean, hypothetically, I actually kind of think that is an okay use for an action point, but I don't like it in general.
we
Like, I don't think I want to do it here, but I don't know.
wait, what happened?
Oh, I just
leveled
rolled
up,
like
right?
subpar.
Yeah.
for-
You guys leveled up.
Despite
Oh,
the fact
boy!
I'm a
I do see. That's the, kind of the thing. Maybe I do kind of want to let you guys see. I don't want to. I hate the use of action points in that way.
I also wouldn't use it, even though I have a negative Constitution modifier. I get 0 hit points this level, boys.
Oh my god, this is gonna be brutal.
Yeah, well, so you don't want to do the thing that Mango does, where if you don't get at least half, you get half.
Oh, Mango does that?
Kind of not solves, but like, I don't know.
You could also allow for the You can retrain hit points as like it costs more money than we probably have though. There's a retraining option for it that just gives you more hit points up to your theoretical maximum.
If you pay.
Let me look up the retraining rules for hit points.
Whatever, fuck it.
You
Don't
do what
make-
you
don't
want to
make-
do, buddy. I'm sure it will work out fine.
Because I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to.
I mean, I don't want to
I
say
have
what
good
max
con
hit
mod,
points. It's
so-
mostly, I have 8 hit points now.
Yeah, jeez.
I gained 6. I'm at 17 total.
I'm at 17. Yay!
Yeah, I have as many as an orc. Oh, I wonder how many hit points Tal gets. I think it's 13. I don't know.
Oh, I just got Uncanny Dodge. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'll have to
have
think
two
about it. I'll have to
character
think about it
sheets.
for
Retraining hit points takes 3 days. I don't know what the cost is.
Is it like 300 gold?
I thought so, but I can't find it. Hold on.
Does my bird get a favorite class hit point? I don't think so. That's
No.
not spell.
you guys get
Training
favorite
cost
class.
is equal to 10 times your level times the
Oh yeah, I remember how this works now.
So it's 60 gold for every hit point I want to increase. And 3 days of training to do that specifically, and technically I need to find somewhere to do that.
That's fine. Okay, I actually like that. Those rules are fine by me.
Hey, why does this say that?
Wait,
like-
so since
But I
these
think,
are rules now,
wait. So that says you can train up to your maximum.
Right, like I could spend the next, say, I got one here, I could spend the next 7 times 3, 21 days at 60 gold, 60 times 7, so 350 gold, and train all the way up to having rolled effectively an 8.
See, I kind of want to say that you can only train up to half.
is this training like not really actively done? It's just you say you're
No,
training
no,
for
you
21
have to
days.
spend 8 hours a day doing only that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of downside. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
As you guys are going
Yeah,
like
that's
week
what I
to
meant.
week or
I
whatever.
meant that sounds like something you can just say.
So yeah, so that's the thing is like the ridiculous amount of downtime kind of makes it fine. But yeah, I kind of want to say that you can only train up to half because I don't want this to be like, you know what I mean? Like,
So you care that much about penalizing us the gold? Like if you don't care, if you don't think the gold's that big a deal, then it's better off to just let us round it to half, right? And just leave it there and make it simple like that. Also, should I stop streaming?
do I think the gold is real? Oh, yeah.
It's interesting to listen to.
Yes, I guess. Okay. That's the session.
Dear viewers.
Until next time, dear viewers, thank you for tuning in to Hell's Rebels.